Welcome to Cosmos with Bailey. I'm Bailey, and I'm a clairvoyant, psychic medium, and spiritual healer based in New Zealand. Welcome. Yes, welcome to Cosmos with Bailey. I've been on a bit of a journey on YouTube, and sometimes I don't want to be on it. And there's a lot of videos out there that sometimes when I go onto YouTube, there is a lot of not nice videos, people making videos of pulling other people down. There doesn't seem to be a lot of conducive stuff happening, and this morning I just felt, I don't know if I want to continue to be on YouTube, but then I thought, you know what, maybe I just need to make it more fun. I don't know. So I put on my favorite color, which is pink. I love pink. So I think it's really important to be yourself online. So today's video is going to be on projection, navigating projection like a pro, and also reclaiming yourself back from projection. So it's a very, very normalized thing on this earth that people will create ideas about you that serve them. People can create entire personas about you so that they can use your energy for their own benefit. People can also, if there's heavy projection and you don't have a very strong aura or strong sense of self, you can begin to believe that you're this person that this person is telling you you are. And when people are wanting something from people, not from a place of, when people are wanting stuff from people, or they're wanting you to be a certain way for them, and you are around that person a really, really long time, say you are living with them, or you are in a relationship, or it's a family member or a flatmate, depending on what's going on within them and their insecurities, their level of awareness, their true intentions and whatnot, people can create a persona about you that doesn't actually exist. And if you are in that person's energy for a long period of time, you can begin to believe the ideas that this person is projecting onto you about you, and thus they can sort of take your identity and create this idea about you, and you almost divorce yourself from who you actually are. And it happens over time, and it's very insidious. This can happen in family dynamics when you incarnate and you are never given the space to actually know yourself as a soul, and you just sort of get projected upon by other people's, by your parents' insecurities, your parents' wants and needs, your parents' feelings and emotions, and you sort of have to end up catering to what other people want from you. And so you are sort of taking on these projections about you and then believing in them and then working with them. And it may not be who you actually are. It's very, very normal. And or what can happen is that people can mold you into something they want. I've seen this happen in relationship where there was someone that is maybe a bit more external or image based, and then you've got someone who is more internally based. So when I had a healing session with someone recently, what came through was, you have people that are more externally based and are very, very unaware of that internal. And then you have people who are more internally based, who are very, very aware of the internal and a lot more sensitive and in tune with the soul and the energies of what's going on within. And when we have these dynamics play out, or you are in a relationship with someone and you're very, very internal and this person is very, very external, this person, because their energies are maybe a lot more dominating, can sort of convince you that you are a certain way, and thus create an identity and also take your identity from you and mold you into something that they're wanting that suits them. It's very, very normal to have this happen, but this is also intense projection. And this is extensively, and just the way that we've been raised in family dynamics, because we are not raised with spiritually empowered masculine and feminine energies, we don't know how to navigate these situations, and they happen all the time. So if you watch this video and you sort of realize that someone has made up a complete persona about you, they're not really seeing you for who you are, or you're in a relationship, or you just are very aware this person has created this idea out of you because they want to use what you have. Maybe it's physical things like money, or they get a sense of power of you being disempowered, and there's a real strong undercurrent of puppeting that can happen with really strong protection, is that people puppet your energy and what they want. It can be really hard to separate off from that person and what they've created about you. So what happened to me recently, I'm going to give some examples. Throughout my life as a female in a soul, I have been told that I'm a very, very certain way. But it was actually all to do with one of my parental figures and how they were feeling about themselves. And I grew up in a very, very disempowered state as a woman. And I was incredibly spiritually repressed. And what happened when I recently had an altercation with one of these people that was telling me I needed to stay disempowered, and I said no, was that this person got very, very violent towards me. And they tried to really dominate my energy and tell me that I had no power. And that was because that person's psychic energy and their projections were used to having dominion over my energy field and telling me what to do. But because I had been working extensively with my own psychic boundaries and navigating that and reclaiming back my power, what happened when this altercation happened was that this person could not tell me how to think, feel, or do, or be. And something happened in my spirit where something rose up within me. And I just turned around and I got in this person's face and I said very, very clearly, right in this person's eye, it was a male, and I said, "You do not have any power over me. You do not tell me what to do, and you do not tell me what to do in my life and how I think and how I feel." This person then threw a tantrum. They were used to having complete control and domination over my energy, and I was not going to allow it. And I actually, the more stronger I got in seeing what people's true intentions were wanting from me, the stronger my backbone got, and the less inclined I was allowing people to just come in and tell me what to think, do, and be. Projection, if you are not aware of it, can enter into your energy field and almost persuade you to be a certain way. And you completely lose authenticity and a power in what's going on in your aura. A lot of people operate in this state and have little to no awareness that they could change it. But because of how we've experienced the consciousness on the earth and family dynamics and relationship dynamics, it's almost like we need to go through a bit of an evolutionary phase and reclaim back our spirits from disempowering connections. Oh, goodness me, and we're just so used to catering to other people's feelings, wants, and needs. We are used to, on this earth, allowing other people's wants and needs to have dominion in our life. No one teaches us this. It's not spiritually healthy. It's not spiritually empowering. It's not empowering to allow someone else's wants and needs and emotions and feelings to be telling you how you should be living your life. And I want you to think about that really carefully. If you're in a relationship and you are in circumstances and ways of life that you don't want to be in because someone else's emotions and feelings are dictating to you how you should be. And a healthy, self-autonomous, spiritually healthy relationship dynamics You are allowed to be yourself and have your own wants and needs. It is more so about, also when it comes to these really imbalanced connections, you want to find someone that actually suits your energy. And so you're not going to have problems with projection. It's not going to be this sticky, icky thing. Okay, so when it comes to projection and you become aware of projection, because there's a lot of things opening up, and I think there's a lot of people, being like, I want to get better boundaries, I'm sick of being projected upon. You can see it happening in the collective consciousness and online. If you are aware that someone has been used to having a lot of dominion and control and say over your life, where you spend your money and what you do and how you dress and XYZ, and they've created this entire persona about you. Say you're in a relationship with a woman and she dictates to you how you should be dressing. Maybe she says, no, I want you to wear this and I want you to wear that. She wants you to not be yourself. She wants you to be what she wants you to be. So that is a projection. She has created an idea and persona about you that's not who you are. She's not honoring and respecting you. And it is, and what happens with projection is that you allow way too much of someone else's energy into your aura, and they tell you what to do. It's not this respectful connection. And when you are in a relationship with someone and you allow the energy to come into your aura, it should be really, really enjoyable and freeing, and you should be enjoying this person's energy. You shouldn't have to give up your entire identity or who you are as a person to cater to your partner's wants and needs. And the person can't. It's really odd. It's a really odd phenomena that it happens in family dynamics. It happens in relationships. People want you to be a certain way. They can't see you as a person, or even as a child. They can't see you as a child. They see you through their own filters and their own wants and needs, and they need you to be a certain way. They need you to be a certain way in order to appease them and their own emotions and feelings. Okay, so when it comes to projection and separating off from the projection of what someone's creating about you and their story, you have to be okay with being the villain or the baddie. When you start to sort of reclaim back your energies and your soul essence, or you're just having these feelings in your body that you're really sick of what's going on, and your soul is sort of almost being like, hey, can you listen to me? This is not right for us. You're going to start being pushed to start standing up for yourself and saying no, and it can be really uncomfortable if you're not used to doing that. You're going to have to start listening to your own wants and needs and what you want in your life, and saying no to that person who is used to having complete dominion and control over your energy. You have to do life this way because I said so. You have to do this because I said so. You have no power and I have the power. It's very disempowering on the soul, and it's not healthy. And when we are trying to separate off from these dynamics and ways of experiencing things, you do have to get a backbone and say no. You have to be okay with being the baddie. You have to be okay with upsetting people. And you have to be okay with telling people who are being otherwise very disrespectful to get out of your life. And it's like you have to reclaim back you from the ideas and the projections of this person. And, it's like separating your spirit and your soul off from a projection of someone else's wants and needs. And, what examples can I give you in the real world? I've already given that one example, but I had someone say to me, okay, so what happened was someone told me, I had someone in my psychic rounds for a very long time, and it was very clear to me what I was dreaming about, that this person was not secure and empowered. The only reason that someone would be coming into your dream realms and wreaking havoc is because they are completely not in control of their energies. Anyway, it felt like this person was stalking me, and they would come into my dream realms and do all these things, and I couldn't get them out. And what I realized had happened was, and I'd never met this person. This person had created an entire idea about me to appease their insecurities. She had created that I was this and this and this. I was a cow, or I was a nasty person, or I was that and that and that. And she created this entire identity about me that didn't actually exist, so she could continue to be nasty towards me. And I'm just going to keep in mind that she's never met me. And then recently she contacted me, and I was dreaming of what was going on, but she didn't know how clairvoyant I was. And it was a little embarrassing to have her contact me. And she said that I was a stalker and that I was this and that. And it was very bizarre to me. And I sort of saw straight through the email, and I said, do not contact me again. Because what she had done was projected all her energies onto me, so she didn't have to deal with what she was feeling. So a lot of the times that's external. So you've got internal, external. So what happens when people are really, really externally based is they will create these identities around people and like force things onto people and make them a part of their storyline, so they don't have to deal with the ramifications of their own behavior. And so they're going to try and make someone else responsible for it. And it's not healthy, and it happens all the time. You can get really, really psychically caught up in these storylines that people are creating that have nothing to do with you. And so this is why I talk extensively on psychic boundaries and getting a backbone if you want to have a good life, because people make up stuff about you all the time because they want to feel better about themselves and their circumstances. It's a disconnection from the soul, and there's probably a lot of stuff going on in the aura that's not reality, okay? So usually when there's high levels of projection, there is a massive dissociation and delusion from the reality of a situation, and they will sort of paint things in a way that's not actually what's happening. Now, what was I just about to say then that was really important? Yeah, okay, so when people start to do that to you, or you're very aware they're trying to make you into a type of person that you're not, sometimes you are going to have to turn around. And what I've found that I've been pushed to do on the spirit level is turn around and push that energy back into that person's face. It's not something you want to do all the time. You don't want to surround yourself with people that you constantly have to be like, hey, back off. It's not enjoyable. But in order to get out of people's projections, you have to be confident and capable and turn around and push the energy back in the person and say, that's not what's happening. You don't have power over me. I'm not going to dress that way. I'm going to do things on my terms. You need to back off. And that will be your spirit speaking and saying, all right, this is enough. You need to back off and get out of my life now. And sometimes when it comes to spirituality and whatnot, there's a lot of juvenile teachings out there. And there is this a big phenomena in what I would call the New Age community about love and light. And if we are having these real world experiences in the real everyday world where people are still acting like they can have dominion and control over your energy, you need real world teachings and how to navigate these experiences. Love and light tends to paint the real world reality with rainbows and unicorns. And that's not what we're experiencing right now, so it's not helpful. So basically, if you're aware that this has happened and your whole identity is being taken over, you need to probably go into meditation. You need to clear your aura. I have a life force clearing meditation with the chakras in my Etsy shop that is really, really amazing for this, to clear the aura. And if you're a female and you know you're being super projected upon, I would highly recommend the feminine boundaries and love and respect for your energy. And you're going to have to turn around and push back the energy. Sometimes clearing the aura isn't enough. And also what happens when you push back the energy onto the person or the storyline back onto the person, they're going to feel guilty and try and get you to appease that guilt, or they're going to want you to accept their apology. And something very interesting happened to me where I left the door open in my room. And where I live, there's these really outrageous blackbirds. And they come in and then they just poop and shit everywhere. And then they just leave. And I just thought, my goodness me, isn't that just what happens when people project onto you? They come in and they go bloop, bloop, bloop everywhere, make a mess. And then you're sitting in this poopy poop psychic energy. And then they leave again and you're just left to deal with their mess. How many people know this in relationship where people just come in, or friendships or family dynamics where people just come in and into your energy and then they leave and you're just sitting there left feeling like, and they've just sort of projected all their insecurities, their wants and needs into you, and then you're just left to deal with it. And this is the thing with projection, if you leave that door open and you don't have a clear boundary and you don't have a clear no, that person is going to continue to do it because they know they can get away with it. And in spiritual, you need to close the door on the person who's projecting onto you for good so they know they can't do it. You've got to have a backbone. You've got to be comfortable with saying no. And you've got to say, no, thank you. I'm closing the damn door on you because I'm sick of dealing with your mess. Whatever's going on within your aura and your energy body as you as a person, that's yours to deal with. You need to take accountability and responsibility for that and stop making me accountable and responsible for it. I'm not your parent. So, and you're not here. You haven't incarnated to deal with other people's energy and juju. That's theirs, and that's theirs to deal with. So people have got to go away and have that experience for themselves. And usually, what I've seen repeatedly happen is when you stand up and say, hey, no, that person knows on some level that their behavior isn't acceptable, and that will come back around again and then try and get you to forgive them, or they'll try and get you to allow them to not feel so bad, and then they'll just continue the behavior. So that's why I'm a stickler for, what did I just say, closing the door for good on people like that. Because if you allow it over and over, they're going to continue to do it. And people do learn who they can and can't be like that with. And you should not have to sacrifice your incarnation or your spiritual energies for someone else's wants and needs. Your energy and your aura should not be used to hold other people's psychic and energetic projections. That is not the point of being here. We are moving into more spiritual empowerment, and people really do need to learn now to stop projecting their energies onto other people. It's time to evolve and it's time to mature. And sometimes you've got to be the baddie and you've got to say no. And saying no is the empowered way, spiritually empowered way of saying yes to your energies and no to someone else's. And in the long run, you are helping that person also by saying no. So please, please, please do not think that you need to stay in relationships or family dynamics or friendships, and that you are constantly being held accountable and responsible for someone else's feelings and emotions. It's not healthy, it's not spiritually mature, and you don't need to sort out someone else's problems, nor appease someone else's guilt for their own behavior. Yes, it's been something that I've had a lot of experiences with. I think there's a lot of people right now having these experiences, and at some point your soul is it is very normal for your soul anger or just this irritation to rise up and turn around and tell someone to F off because you've had enough. You've had enough of dealing with it. Maybe you've tried to be polite. Maybe you've tried to be maybe too accommodating. And it is very normal for the soul when it's had enough of something to turn around and tell someone to leave it alone. So, yes. Okay. Yeah, I just sort of wanted to say that, and that being spiritual is not so much about love and light and unicorns and rainbows and loving everyone. We are not yet ready to be loving and respectful, and psychic boundaries, spiritual discernment, and common sense intuition are the necessary tools to navigating what is going on the earth right now, because a lot of people are going to have awakenings. It is not your responsibility what someone else is experiencing, and the best thing to do is to leave someone to figure it out for themselves. That is how you move into more spiritual maturity. That is how someone moves into more spiritual empowerment, and we sort of stop expecting other people to caretake our lives, our feelings, and our emotions. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave your own experiences, and if you really need help in separating off from people or in relationships and dynamics that you've had enough of, you're most welcome to book a healing session with me or a spirit world session. Or if you think there's some really insidious psychic things going. As said, you're most welcome to book a session with me, and we can start unraveling why you're allowing someone to have so much power over your energies. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope it was helpful.